Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. This is our weekly review of the Villages real estate market. There are a couple of things I'd like to point out to you. The first is to make sure that you check the date. We produce this report every Monday. Make sure that you're looking at the most recent information. The second is that I can be reached at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about real estate here in the Villages. So let's get started. As always, we start by looking at the total number of listings on properties for sale in the Villages. This does not include properties that are listed on the Villages internal VLS system. This only counts properties on the external MLS. We can see that as of today, the 20th of June, there are currently 198 properties for sale. They range in price from $182,000 to $2.5 million. And you can see that the number of properties for sale has steadily been increasing over the last couple of months. This graph is interesting. This shows us the listing price per square foot. In other words, if we take all listings currently for sale in the Villages and we look at the price per square foot, we can see that it's definitely trending lower. We had been bumping up over 300 and we're now well below 300, and it appears possibly headed lower. We'll obviously keep our eye on this in the weeks to come. If we take a look at this table, we can see in what price segments these properties are available. Once again, the $300,000 to $500,000 price range is the most active here in the Villages. Currently, there are 120 properties for sale in that price range. And this table shows you how many were available in each price range going back several weeks. For example, in the $300,000 to $400,000 price range, this week there are 65 properties for sale. Last week there were 54. The week prior to that, also 54. Prior to that, 51. Then 47, 42, 41. So the number of properties is certainly increasing in the most active price segment. This map shows us where in the Villages these listings are located. Next, we'll look at new listings. These are listings over the previous 7 days, and the number of new listings seems to be staying fairly constant at around 30 every 7-day time period. This table breaks down the new listings by price segment, and you can see that once again, the $300,000 to $400,000 price range is the most active here in the Villages. This week, 15 new listings have been added in that price range. Last week, the number was 9. Prior week 12, 16, 10, and 14. But as I said, the number of new listings seems to be holding pretty steady at around 30. This map shows us where in the Villages these new listings are located. We can take a closer look at properties that have sold over the last 7 days, and you can see that the number of sales, even though it dipped dramatically last week, does seem to be holding steady at around 35 every 7-day time period. We can take a look at the sales over the last 7 days. This table breaks down sales by price segment. And as you would expect, the majority of sales have been in the most active price segment, which is the $300,000 to $400,000 price range. Over the previous 7 days, there have been 15 sales closed in that price range. Prior 7 days saw 6, prior to that 13, prior to that 21, etc. Feel free to pause if you want to examine any of this information in more detail. So let's look at the data in a little more depth. This shows us over the previous 7 days the price per square foot on sales. And you can see that last week it did seem to jump. It had been hovering around $260 a square foot. Last week we saw $281 a square foot for those sales. We're back to the 260s. We'll have to wait to see what happens going forward through the summer. Rates are dramatically higher. And although the Villages seems to attract more cash buyers than other areas, it's hard to believe it'll be unaffected by the rise in interest rates. And the last two items we're going to take a look at are how long properties are staying on the market. You can see that 2-3 months ago they barely made 24 days. They're currently well over 30. The last thing we're going to look at is the current listing price versus the original listing price. This week, 46% of properties are listed for less than their original listing price, which is 91 out of 198. The average decrease from the original listing price is 5.4%, which is the highest since we've started covering this. And that concludes this week's report. Once again, my name is David. I can be reached at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. If If you have any questions on real estate in Florida, specifically the villages or its close proximity, please feel free to contact me. If I don't have an answer to your question, I will be happy to research until I discover the answer. Once again, David at DavidisinFlorida at gmail.com. Hope to hear from you.